Hi, what's up? This is Angela. I'm here again to share some things with you. I will try to not make this too long, but informative. And I'm going to talk about a few things that I do here at home. Home and health products, basically, in efforts to be healthier, mostly to be healthier, and sometimes you save some money too. And it's fun. I get a lot of joy in creating home health products. All the videos and stuff, more will come later where I'm showing what I'm doing. But for now, I just wanted to start with one video to go over a few things to help you get started, because it's important when you're learning a lot not to get overwhelmed, and you want to try to find your balance and start small and just keep building and building and building, because if you just think about all the things you want to make and do, you're going to just get overwhelmed like me, right? And like most people would. So start small. As you build things up, you can go back and re-up your ketchup or re-up your vinegars or your supplements or whatever. So just don't worry about it. Start with the easiest things and the funnest things, whatever you think is fun. So recently started making soap. So I have 2 soaps curing that are they're fun to make, and it's fun to do with little ones. My daughter does a lot of these types of things with me. And so I was originally going to share about shampoo rinse. So I'm going to share a couple shampoo recipes. And that I've made vinegar, bug repellent, a couple benefits of apple cider vinegar for yourself and babies. And then a couple things about pine and pitch. And a couple other little miscellaneous things. Okay, so first of all, you don't have to get all fancy right away. If you don't have a lot of money to start with, you just make. She's one of the people I've seen, not so much lately, but I've watched some of her, some of Rain Country. I'll talk about the capsules. That comes from a lot of cross-referencing too. You're going to have to do your own research about what herbs are good for you, because what's good for me might not be good for you, depending on your ailments, and everyone's different. So it's good to always start small, start with one herb at a time to make sure you don't have reactions. These are some jars got after Christmas. He got a few of these for us. So this is a hair rinse, and this one's comfrey, nettle, and lemon balm. And then I reused this as they sit, a little bit. They're gonna get like that. This one is a smaller batch, so the color of the herbs can all affect it too. But then this one's shampoo rinse with lavender, lemon verbena, thyme, and peppermint. Sometimes I put essential oils in things, and sometimes I don't. And you can also just wash your hair with straight up Castile soap. I use Kirkland's right now for making things. Kirkland's natural soap. It's like Dr. Bronner's, only not as fancy. And then also you could just use vinegar rinse. Even some people spray it on their body just to cleanse themselves. And you'll lose weight with apple cider vinegar sprays that you can make. You could also just use 1 tablespoon of baking soda mixed in 1 cup of water. So you can mix it up, match it up. I always want to try to get the best, healthiest products that you can find. I deleted my first video, and I got rid of some of the stuff I had sitting out, but the cleanest ones you can find, because that's part of the point of this, is to be healthy and clean. And there's a lot of like aluminum, for example, in and things, metals, heavy metals. So what else? Apple cider vinegar benefits you could do for babies, for their diaper area, 1 part apple cider vinegar to 3 parts water. You dab it on the area and let dry. Or you can do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to 4 ounces of water. 2 to 3 tablespoons in a lukewarm bath for 15 minutes for a bad rash. Another thing that's good and simple is baking soda. You could do a 1/4 cup of that. So you probably want to do about 1 part soda to 3 parts water, but in a bath for 10 to 15 minutes, and that would be like for bug bites. But that was just kind of a side note. For itching. Also, purslane, if you're outside and you get like a bee sting, you can put purslane, chew up the end, you get the oils out, chew it up, and then you just rub it on. Also, honey, raw honey would work, or purslane with raw honey. I've heard that, a guy do that, and he said that was really good too. Herbalist. The bug repellent. This is just what I had to make work. So I do have a label maker, but it's kind of fussy, and this is just quicker and easier for me. So this is 50/50 apple cider vinegar water, and then lemongrass was this one I have used when I grew lemon verbena and lemon balm and lemongrass last year. So you can switch it up. Some of the plants did better than others, so I had a lot of lemongrass, so that's why this other batch was just lemongrass. But you just let it infuse for like a day. You know, the longer the better, really. That was sitting on the shelf since the summer, and I just took it out. It doesn't hurt anything. So then for the shampoos, I'll read off a couple of notes. I had the recipe for the 1/2 gallon. So the 1/2 gallon wash, you can use like a 1/4 cup with a 1/2 cup of water. I just pour some on my head and let a little water run on there and lather it up a little bit, let it sit for a couple minutes, few minutes, and then be done and rinse it out. So you can use any herbs you like. If there's something that speaks to you that you really love, you might want to try that, because odds are you're going to love it. But there's a few that stimulate your hair growth really well, and there's massive lists, but I'm just going to name a few. For hair growth would be thyme, rosemary, nasturtium flowers. You can eat those too, they're really pretty on cakes. Lavender and sage. And then ones you could use for nourishing, specifically dandelion, pansies, calendula. Oh, I love calendula, it feels so smooth. To rose petals, marshmallow leaves, the flowers and or the roots. So those are a few that you can infuse with. You can mix and match. Also marshmallow root is really good for the throat if you have a sore throat this time of year. Mix a little bit in water. It's good for your digestive tract also. So for the 1/2 gallon recipe, you want to fill your pint jar with dried herbs or fresh herbs. If you're gonna do, you know, it all depends on what you have, really. If you have dried herbs or if you have fresh herbs, you're gonna want to use less dried because they're dried up. There's more fresh. Usually I when I do this, I kind of eyeball it. I would probably do about half, 3/4 to a half, depending on dried herb and whatever, how much I love it, or just trying to make something, you know. And then you're just basically making like a hot tea. So you boil water, heat up your jar a little bit under hot running water for a second so you don't pop it, and then put it on the counter with a cloth under it or a towel, and then you pour your hot water in, you let it infuse. 2 to 4 hours at least. I do 4 hours almost always because I like to prep it the night before and just infuse it on the counter, and then the next morning make it. And you can use whatever you have handy in the garden. Anyway, this is not herbs. This is food grade diatomaceous earth, and then this is melatonin. I just did. I'll get to that in a second. So you fill the jar, let that sit. So you're gonna come and strain your herbs when you're ready. Strain your herbs, and then put the infusion water into your stainless steel pot, probably stainless steel. There's a lot of toxic chemicals in pots and pans and in the non-stick versions, which aren't good for you. So I always try to use stainless steel, cast iron, or clay is really good too. I don't have any clay, but cast iron and stainless steel. They're not hard to use. You just gotta learn how to use them a little bit differently, and it's well worth it. So anywho, you are gonna put that in there, and then you're gonna have your 4-ounce bar of grated up soap. So we'll take the soap with the little grater, cheese grater type of thing, whatever works. If you didn't have that, you could just smash it up with a mallet, really, in a paper bag. And just the smaller the better, because you want them to melt over low heat to very low heat. And then once it's completely melted, you would just, if you want to, you could add in Kaleido silver if you have any on hand, or Kaleido copper. There's actually DIY videos out there of seeing you can make your own. It's really healthy for your skin, for a lot of skin, and I don't remember what else right now, but you could make your own, so that's pretty awesome. And then you would want to add a quart of that, and then jar it up. So basically 4 cups, 1 quart of water, 4-ounce bar of soap, and 1 quart of Kaleido if you're gonna do that. I haven't done that yet, so I just do the water and the soap, my herbs and whatnot. And it is good to know though, the vinegar is enough, like we talked about. Where am I gonna go from here to this? There's a lot of different machines you can get. You can make your own capsules. If you look up whatever herbs are good for you that you want to try, and instead of making teas or tinctures, you could use one of these. And just make sure you look for this size when you buy one. You want to make sure you get the corresponding, because that was a mistake here. We got the wrong size of these. So instead of you want to get O. And then these are just empty pill capsules, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, gelatin. So you're going to save a lot of money with supplements that way. And buying in bulk. This is melatonin we ran out of, so I just did these, a few of these to start with today. And I'm supposed to get 3 milligrams for a serving. Anywho, the machine's really easy to use. I'll probably do that on a video at another time and show you how easy it is. You just fill the little capsules and take them apart, stick them in this thing, put the powder on, stick it, pop them out. There's other ones where they have little scoops. There's like a toolkit one that you can get. And then there's electrical ones that look really nice too, but that's all more money. So, what else? I wanted to talk about a couple things I will be working on. I really want to do pine. You should look into pine and pitch. So basically, pine needle tea is really good because it takes out the spike protein, which a lot of people have had from the things. And basically, it boils down to a lot of inflammation and and a lot of other things that we don't need to get into right now. But pine also, you can make your own natural antibiotic and just carry a little. They have lots of little containers you can buy and put that in your diaper bag or your purse or your jacket. So when you're out and about, you have some antibiotic ointment ready in case you got a boo-boo. So some people call it pitch, some people call it pine. It's really sticky. You can go out and harvest it. It looks really fun. You just melt it down, basically, and jar it up, just like salve. I make salve, calendula, lemon balm salve. Lemon balm is an awesome herb. Actually, it helps in a lot of ways, but one of my favorite highlights is that it stops viruses from getting in your cells. Very cool. I love that. And what else? I want to get to ozonated. I'm gonna researching ozone. Ozone's really good for you. It can also how do you phrase this? It can also stop viruses that are bad if you do ozone rectally, and also you can ozonate oils. There's a company also called Pure O3 that's really cool. So anyway, hopefully soon I want to start doing that. Ozonated glycerin, ozonated olive oil is probably what I'll start with first. And there's so many benefits for your teeth, for animals, for inflammation that are super awesome. Ozonated castor oil for inflammation. What else? When you're making things, I think I might have mentioned water. You want to make sure you get the cleanest water possible. Not city water. Don't use city water for anything you make. There's chlorine, chloramine, bromine, a million other things, forever chemicals you don't want. But don't get too upset, because there is a lot you can do and a lot of mitigation. And for different things, for water, you can, if you can't do anything to start with, the least you could do is something. You could get humic acid. You can buy some of that. And it's not that much. I don't remember right now. You'd have to read the directions. Just pour a little bit in a gallon. I have it written down somewhere, but don't have it right now. So you let that sit overnight, and the next morning, so if you wanted to make anything with that or use it for compost or whatever, you'd have clean water for your plants. Or you could also let water off gas, and that is just like filling up buckets of water from regular water and letting it sit. Double check, but it's 24 or 48 hours, I think, probably. Don't remember for sure, so always good to cross-reference, but let it off gas overnight, and then you can still use it for plants and whatnot. Distilled water is the cleanest version, the purest version of water, but then you have to add your own nutrients and things back in it. So like, for example, salt, it's really good to have a little bit of salt with you. I do that at least a few times a day. And then electrolytes, because we need the salt. That's a big lie. You need good salt. Salt. Himalayan salt, Celtic salt. Anyway, I put a little bit of that on your tongue, and you let it dissolve. And then before you drink water, it helps to ensure that your organs that need it are able to get it. So it's kind of like a carrier. And I have some books. I'll make another video where I can share some books that I have or that I have read that are good references. And people, for thyroid, I was going to say a couple things about that. Selenium's really good. Coffee is not when you're trying to heal your thyroid. It has good benefits and not good benefits, like a lot of things you can overuse, really. But things I would always recommend to stay away from would be, well, you're not going to want to hear this, but coffee. Coffee is supposed to be 1, alcohol, diet soda, and breads. So this way we really got to learn how to make our own breads with good grains, probably outsourced, not from this country, because they use glyphosate, and they use another one that starts with C. It's just as bad. I can't remember what it is right now. It's probably even worse. But those things cause chronic illnesses, and they kill your friendly bacteria in your gut. Your gut is the home of your immune system. You know, there's leaky gut, there's leaky brain, there's a lot of not great things if you think about it, but your body is super awesome, and it's amazing the way that God has built us so that you are able to just, he makes all these small little changes. Just start small and just keep growing. And all the little times you say no about that you don't really need that, and you choose that healthy thing, you feel better, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is really easy, right? So start small. And that's my 2 cents. And I'm gonna have to go and do this now. I didn't get to it this last weekend, so this is the best kind of coffee I love. This is therapy coffee. So I try to do once a week a enema, coffee enema. There's all other kinds of enemas apparently you can do, but kind of interesting. But this is good because it just helps clean out your digestive tract and get all the icky things out. You know, we don't always eat the best healthy diet. Can't afford all of that healthy stuff all the time, or it's not convenient or whatever. So coffee enemas are really good to help with mitigating things and to keep your body healthy. And if you can hold it in for at least 3 minutes, every 3 minutes it cycles around your body system through the kidney. So the longer the better. And if you can hold it in for 15 minutes, then you can feel a little like contractions, kind of. And that's when your body is producing glutathione. And that is really cool because we need that. I actually had a dream about that, a glutathione. And I'm like, what is that again? Oh yeah, I need to do an enema. So that was pretty cool. And what else? This is getting to be long, so wow, 23 minutes, sorry. Peace out. The next ones will probably be shorter. Have a good night.